Good morning, students. I am Amos Michael, teaching physics in Mount Zion Matriculation Higher Secondary School. Once again, I welcome you to the online class for the sixth physics. So, in this class, we are going to learn about the simple machines, namely pulley, wedge, and inclined plane. So, this class is the continuation of the previous class. That is, in the previous class, we have discussed the simple machines called lever and its different types, and in this class we will more discuss about the other simple machines, that is the pulley, wedge, and inclined plane. So what are the main learning objectives of this class is, one is we are going to discuss about the pulley, and then inclined plane, and finally wedge. And in the later part of the presentation, we are also going to solve the some of the problems related to this topic. So very first topic is pulley. What do you mean by a pulley? A pulley consists of a wheel with a groove and a rope passing through it. Look at this picture. This man trying to lift a heavy load, and this is what the pulley. So it consists of a wheel. So this is wheel, and with a groove. So groove you can't see. So in the next slide I will explain detail about the pulley. So a rope is also passing through it. So such a arrangement is called a pulley. And a single pulley does not increase or decrease the force. That means it does not produce the mechanical effect at all. It just changes its direction, whereas multiple pulleys can be used together to increase the force. That is, the multiple pulleys, it reduces the effort. That means it reduces the applied force. So it is difficult to lift a heavy weight or pull a bucket of water from a well. A pulley makes it easier by changing the direction in which the force is applied. Look at the pictures. So this is a heavy weight, and this man is trying to pull this heavy weight in order to load this weight to maybe on a vehicle or a load. So a pulley helps him in order to lift this heavy load. So look at the video. So this is nothing but the pulley. So actually the pulley consists of a wheel, and the axle is passing through the wheel, and it has a groove with it, and a rope will be passing through the groove. So why it is groove? Not to slip, in order to prevent the rope from slipping, the pulley is grooved. So this rope is used to raise heavy objects. Okay. So pulleys can be used in many ways to lift the loads. So let us see how it is being used to lift the loads. So if you want to lift a very heavy object and your body cannot apply that much of force, and whereas in this case you can use a pulley. Look at this picture. This man is trying to lift a weight of 100 kg. So this is the load, and he is trying to lift the heavy weight or load weighing about nearly 100 kg. So he finds very difficult to lift the load. But if you use a pulley to lift this load of 100 kgs, you can easily lift this. By using this pulley, you can easily lift the load of 100 kg. So a force is applied in a downward direction, and the weight is lifted in an upward direction. So there are different types of pulleys are there. One is fixed pulley, and another one is movable pulley. A single pulley, if you consider a single pulley, it does not give us any mechanical advantage. As I told earlier, it does not give us any mechanical advantage. That is, it does not reduce the amount of effort required. Okay, so neither it is increase or decrease the force. Whereas if you use a compound pulley like this compound pulley gives us much mechanical advantage. That means it reduces the amount of effort required to do that work. So it reduces the amount of our effort. Already I told you, effort is nothing but the force applied on a simple machine. So it reduces the amount of effort required to do the work. So next one, we are going to see what do you mean by inclined plane. An inclined plane is simply a slope over which a load can be pushed up. So look at this video. What is this? Yes, you are right. This is pyramid, which is famous in Egypt, and it has nearly about 481 feet high. So in those days, these in order to construct this pyramid, heavy stones were taken to the top of the pyramids by making the inclined plane like this. So after constructing inclined planes, so these huge block of stones were taken to the top of the pyramid. Now look at this. What is this? This is a flat surface. What is the difference between the flat surface and an inclined plane? So this is a flat surface. If you rise this flat surface, and it will make an inclined plane. So you look at carefully, one edge is raised over the with respect to the other edge. So if it is the case and it forms an inclined plane. So after making an inclined plane, it is easier to roll down a object rightly like this. So in the previous lesson, we have seen rolling friction is very less than static friction and sliding friction. So therefore here wheels are used to lift the heavy loads on a ramp or inclined plane. So an inclined plane makes it easier to push up the load. That is why a plank of wood is often used to load heavy loads or goods in a truck. So you might have seen very often in the roadside, especially in a vehicle showroom, Hero Honda, something like a two-wheeler vehicle showroom, and they will lift up or load or unload the vehicles by making a inclined planes. So by using a plank of wood, they will, first of all they will construct an inclined plane, and then they will take up or push up the vehicles, or they will get down the vehicles by using these inclined planes. So if you look at in hospitals, inclined planes also called ramps. So ramps are provided next to staircase so that wheelchairs carrying patients can be easily pushed up. So this is all easily understood. So in every hospital there will be the hospital will have a ramp very next to the staircases. Why? Because some of the patients, they could not able to walk or step up the staircases. So in that case they will use the wheelchairs. So in those situations, the inclined planes, which are also called ramps, will be very much useful for the patients. So it will be difficult if you take look at this picture. What is this? Yes, it's very similar to the roads on a mountain. So mountain roads will have a lot of curves like this. So it would be very difficult for a bus to climb up a hill if the road were very steep. So if the road were very steep, in order to reach this point from this point, that is to reach this altitude, if the road were very steep, and it would be very difficult to move the vehicle to reach the top of the hill. That's why hill roads are built up to have a very gradual slope. So in this case the bus can easily climb up, but the only slight disadvantage is it has to travel a greater distance. So the bus can easily climb up, whereas but it has to travel a greater distance. So next one, what is a wedge? So wedge is a simple machine that almost looks like a ramp or inclined plane. So it is actually made up of two inclined planes joined together. Look at this diagram. There are two inclined planes, inclined plane 1 and inclined plane 2. So these two inclined planes, they combine together to form a wedge. So this is called wedge. It can be made up of wood, metal, stone, or even plastics. So wedges are made up of wood, metal, stone, or even plastics. It is thick on one end and usually thins out on the other end. Look at this diagram. So it will be thick at one end and usually thins out on the other end. So this is called a wedge. So basically wedge is a simple machine that at most looks like a ramp or an inclined plane. So wedge is a simple machine that almost already I have explained this, So this is the basic definition for the wedge. So an axe is a wedge with a handle. All of you may very well what do you mean by axe. Axe is used to cut the woods, block of woods, isn't it? So here the axe, it is nothing but a wedge. Basically it is used to split up, it is used to chop the block of woods. Okay, so what are the uses of a wedge? So wedges are used for cutting, splitting, tightening, and to hold together, etc. To hold together we are also using wedges. So by using wedges, the wood can be split up in this way. So look at the video. This man is trying to chop this block of wood by using a axe. So he find very difficult to chop this block of wood into pieces. So he need to apply a huge effort. So he decided to use this wedge. So this is what the wedge is. Actually wedge consists of one or more inclined planes. So this is one inclined plane and this is another inclined plane. So these two inclined planes forms a wedge. So he is trying to insert this wedge into the cracks of the wood, and by applying huge force, that is the spreading force, this wedge it cuts that means it splits the block of wood into pieces. So if you watch clearly, he is applying effort, very small amount of force in order to split up this block of wood. So wedges are basically, it reduces our effort. That's all about the simple machines, and we are going to now discuss some of the simple problems related to the previous topics. So problem 1. What is the problem? The effort arm of a lever is 4 meter long and the load arm is 8 meter long. Find the effort required to lift a load of 20 Newton. So the given data are load is equal to 20 Newton, effort arm length is equal to 4 meter and load arm length is equal to 8 meter. Let us see the solution of this problem. So we know the very famous formula for mechanical advantage. So there are two formulas actually for mechanical advantage. One is the load by effort. Mechanical advantage is equal to load by effort, and it can also be written as effort arm by load arm. Okay, so now we are going to combine these two formulas. These two formulas, that is effort arm by load arm is equal to load by effort. So from this given data, we are going to substitute the directly straight away we are going to substitute the values in the above formula. So the value of the effort arm is 4 meters and the value of the load arm is 8 meters. So here you should not substitute the units, so only numerals, values alone you have to substitute in the formula. So the equal symbol is present at the center, and load is given as 20 Newton, and we are supposed to calculate the effort. So you take the term, that is effort term, to the left hand side. So this is the left hand side, this one is the right hand side. You take this effort to the left hand side and you take this term, that is 4 by 8, to the right hand side. So when it comes to the right hand side, 20 by 4 by 8, 20 by 4 by 8, when this 4 by 8 when it comes to the numerator, it just turns upside down. That means this 4 by 8 will become 8 by 4. Okay, so 20 into 8 by 4, 1 4s are 4, 2 4s are 8. So 20 into 2, 40 newtons effort is required in order to lift this object. Okay, this point, are you very clear with this point? Effort is taken to the left hand side and 4 by 8 is taken to the right hand side, that is 20 by 4 by 8. When this 4 by 8, it's a simple mathematical logic, so it goes to the numerator, it becomes 8 by 4. So numerator becomes denominator and denominator becomes numerator, that's all. So if you understand this point very clearly, and it is very easy to solve this problem, this kind of problems. Now let us pass on to the next problem. So an effort of force 20 Newton is used to lift a load of 60 Newton by a machine. Calculate the mechanical advantage of the machine. So the given data are effort equal to 20 Newton and the load is equal to 60 Newton, and we are supposed to calculate the mechanical advantage of this machine. So very simple formula, that is mechanical advantage MA, means mechanical advantage is equal to load by effort. So load is given as 60 and effort is given as 20, and you cancel 0 0 will cancel out. So 1 2s are 2, 3 2s are 6. So mechanical advantage is 3 newtons. So this machine has a mechanical advantage of 3 newtons, which is very simple. Now we will pass on to the third problem, which is very similar to the first problem. So we are going to once again use the same formula, that is load by effort is equal to effort arm by load arm. The effort arm of a lever is 50 meter and the load arm is 5 meter. Calculate the effort force required to lift a load of 200 Newton. So given data are load 200, effort arm length 50 meters, load arm length 5 meters. So very first thing is you have to derive the data from the given problem. That is the very first step. Next you have to use the formula. As I said earlier, in the very first problem, the same formula is here also we are going to use, that is mechanical advantage is equal to effort arm by load arm is equal to load by effort. So effort arm 50, load arm 5, load 200. We are supposed to calculate the effort. So this effort is taken to the left hand side and 50 by 5 is taken to the right hand side, that is 200 divided by 50 by 5. When it goes the numerator, it becomes 5 by 50. So the 50 by 5 here, when it goes up, it becomes 5 by 50. So 1 5s are 5, 10 5s are 50. So here we will be left with 10. So again we can cancel this 200 by 10. So 1010 will cut it out. So remaining 20 tens are 200. So effort equal to 20 newtons. So finally assignments. So what is the assignment? You have to read aloud from page number 73 to 74 and mark the keywords. That is very important, and draw the flow chart of a simple machines in classwork note and refer page uh, number 75. In 75 there is a flow chart of a simple machine is given, and you have to draw it in your classwork note. Okay, and then study the OTQ. What do you mean by OTQ? Yes, objective type questions. So A3, A4, A6, C3, C5, C8, C9 and D1 to D6 is a match the following, and again E1, E2, E5 will be the one word answers. So these are the objective questions you can answer after listening this class. It will be, you will find yourself very easy. And finally you have to study the question number F4 and F7. That's all about these simple machines in this class. I hope you would understand the concepts very clearly. Thank you students, thank you very much.